Being a boss doesn't have to be so painful for you, boss. I promise. As a business owner, it can feel like the people side of biz, right? That drama, the stress, the unpredictable in your eyes idea that they are going to ask for more than you can deliver, ask a question that you don't know the answer, or worse, take the money and not deliver. This is a lot. But being a boss is not innate. So today we're going to talk about 3 realities you need to be aware of when you became a business owner that will set you up for the understanding it doesn't have to be so hard. When we shift this, you will better understand how you have way more control over the people you're letting influence your company's success. So let's talk about those 3 realities. The first one, I know you don't even think you were doing it when you did it, but that minute, that inspirational moment where you're like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to be a business owner. I'm going to have my own thing. I don't want to deal with anybody else's process. I don't want to deal with anybody else's people. I only want to do what I want to do. I'm going to open my own business. I'm going to drive this. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm going to impact people. It's going to be amazing. And of course, I'm going to be super profitable. Can't wait. You had that big vision. You were probably high-fiving people and celebrating. It was all going to go beautifully. And as you started going along, you were like, why is the people side so freaking hard? Why do I feel like I'm pulling people along? Why can't I find good people to hire? And you keep trying to sideline this concept that you have any control over the people that you're letting into the team, that you're just doing the minimum. You're doing it as fast as you can. And I get it. You don't really know what to do yet. We can talk about that in a minute. But right now, I think it's more you're not being honest with yourself. You're not letting yourself understand that as a business owner, you also are the boss. That's the way this works. You got it the minute you went into being a business owner. So whether your team is made up of vendors or independent contractors or employees, you are the decider. You're the one that knows what success looks like. You're the one that had that vision. You're the one that thought, okay, I'm ready to hire a bookkeeper because I want to see my financials more often. Now, how often, how you communicated that, how you hired, that's on you too. It's not something you just magically figure out. That's so expensive. But more to the point, if we can get you to understand that you do have control over this and it is part of the CEO job description, you have to learn how to identify what success looks like and communicate that so that we can build the best team for you. That's where dream teams get made, right? So if we can get you to be comfortable with the concept that, yeah, I'm a business owner, so that does mean I'm the boss. And again, there'll be layers to this. As you grow, we'll build management team. So you will have other people that help you with that boss responsibility. Different stages, different roles. We can talk about it because we have to build it for you, boss. It can't be do as everyone else does. You're the boss. This is your vision. You're the only one that can define success. So, yes, you're going to have a very clear say on what you need from your team to feel like they're successful. All right, that's the first one, right? You got into the gig as a business owner, you're the boss. So, now let's move to the second concept, which is you do not have to be mean to be a boss. Whoo! If I could just have a nickel for every person who has avoided hiring or avoided talking to team members or avoided stepping into their boss role because they think it means they have to be mean. Absolutely not. There are some amazing bosses out there that are super nice. And I would tell you, the best bosses, the team will rave about them. They're going to tell you how great they are. And it's not because the boss overpays them, although that does help sometimes. You got to pay high value for what they do. But it's more about understanding that they know how to do their job. And what I mean by that is, did you give them a clear idea of what the responsibilities were before you hired them? So there's a consistency of how we're getting there and how All right, let's talk about the second piece here. If we know now that we are a boss, then the second piece is, does a boss have to be mean? No, you don't have to be an ogre. That's not what being a boss is. Being a boss is someone that uses framework, structures, process, and clarity of success, right? Which we talked about in the first step. You take that clarity, you create process and meetings and structure and communication workflows that allow the team to understand how to be successful. That's what being a boss is. It's not about standing over them, waiting for them to do something wrong and catching them. Nobody wants to work for that. But it is stepping into the responsibility of holding people accountable. If we've set up clearly what the responsibilities are and the employee or team member took this job with the understanding that it's conditional, they're going to deliver on this idea, this result, this concept, then there is an accountability piece where we have to communicate to the team member that is underperforming. And there's whole structures around that and ways around that, obviously, in the people side of Biz Institute and out there in lots of ways. But you need to understand that, yeah, we have to give the team a framework of how they can show up successfully so that when we go to do the accountability part, we don't feel mean because we've already communicated this was going to happen. There's a whole process behind that. But I just need you to understand this. It's not about being mean. It's not even about, I hear so many bosses, clients will say things like, I feel nitpicky. I feel like they don't get it. I feel like they're really not even wanting to do this. Secret, some of them don't. Some employees and team members are not mature, emotionally evolved enough to understand that they are in a role that they don't like, that they're not willing to do. And so your job as a boss, it goes back to that again, effective boss management. What are you going to do in your frameworks to hold them accountable to the commitment they made? That's not being mean. You're going to pay them money. They're going to do the job. They're not doing the job. So it's about learning the communication workflows and making sure that you know how to step into it strongly. All these things are different skills that you can develop. They're different processes you can learn. And it's not a thing you have to just magically bash your head against the wall until you figure it out. I want you to understand. It's not about being mean. It's about making sure you have the processes and systems in place that allow the team member to show up successfully or be held accountable. All right? That's the second thing. So don't have to be mean. Our third reality that I need you to understand, it's all about you. And I know this sounds crazy, and I have bosses really push back on this. It can't be about me. I want the team to be happy, and I want the team to want this, and I want the team to get that. Yes, and you built this business with a vision, with profitability in mind, with a concept of how rapidly you were going to grow. And if all that we can do is structure our actions around people that have a conditional agreement with us, this business has nowhere to go. We have to design what the business is going to deliver so that you are getting what you want. You're making that impact. Your company is doing what you need. And so if we have team that are asking us to change this or be slower in our growth or accommodate them in some way that is inconsistent with where this business is going, now we've lost focus again. This is about you, boss. What does your best possible team look like? Wasn't that the whole point of being a business owner? You want to work with people who like to work the way you like to work. That's what we need. You need, you're looking at another business owner and their team, and you're like, "Oh, God, I wish I had their customer service rep. They rock. They're so amazing." But let's be clear, that customer service rep is doing an amazing job for that boss, for those clients in that industry. And because that boss has given them frameworks to know how to be successful. So if you took that customer service rep and you got them to join your team, maybe that boss really wanted team that were take the football and run with it. And maybe you're the kind of boss that really wants the kind of people that are going to follow your process very specifically. So somebody that rocked over there as a customer service rep may not be the right fit for your team. We have to understand what success looks like according to us. We are the decider. We are the judge. Judgment's not a bad thing. It is assessing whether or not something has met a deadline, a metric, a commitment from an employee. This is not a bad thing. More importantly, I want you to get even more specific. I want it to be about you and the way you like to work, the kind of people you like to work with. I love working with people that let me speak very quickly. If any of you know, you're rolling your eyes and laughing right now. This is slow Talmar. So usually I'm really going a mile a minute. Then when I'm not in front of a client or an audience, I'm definitely going super fast when I'm with my team. So I have to hire people that can absorb information very quickly. I don't need them all to speak quickly. I don't even need them to come up with answers quickly necessarily, but I need them to let me work the way I know I'm most successful, which is at high speed, hair on fire, running around because that's joyful for me. That's the fun I get out of my business, that I can think quickly and move quickly and create quickly. That's great. When I can work with people and impact them fast, that's fun. So I need the team to be able to take all that detail and turn it into the deliverables that we have for our people. Super important. That makes me happy. A team member that is not able to absorb and needs me to repeat again and again and again so that they can pull the information out in little bits, which is great for some industries and some bosses, not for me. So, when was the last time you pulled yourself into defining what a successful team member was? This is important stuff. And we feel so guilty. We're like, oh, I can't make it all about me. Yeah, yeah, literally, that's what we're doing. It is all about you. You decided to be a business owner. You decided to make impact and ease and profit and mountain biking, whatever it is that you do for your people. This is your vision. It has to always come back to you and you're deciding, is this what success looks like? Or is this creating more chaos and feels like it's going away from my vision? Now, as you grow it and you build, you'll be able to bring in decision makers at different levels. Don't let the weight of every decision ever being held on you. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about creating the clarity that allows you to build, lead, and celebrate with your kick ass team because that's how we can scale exponentially. That's when we're all in the rhythm and working together and get the client and get the mission and know what we're doing and can be hugely successful. That's when we get to grow and scale. That's where the fun, exciting CEO life comes from. But when you fight that and you try to build off someone else's model, when you don't know how to pull yourself in to deciding how the people side of your business is going to grow, it absolutely slows. It can be very expensive and it gets you to the point of being heartbroken. I've talked to way too many bosses that are like, I don't know, maybe I just need to walk away. The people here, they don't get it. I have to constantly redo someone's work. I have to constantly push deadlines or work late myself to get things done because they're not meeting expectations. It shouldn't be like that. You deserve better. And I just need you to know that. It does mean you have to own being a boss. And you do have to take the time to understand how to develop those skills. We call them boss best practices. Those are your management skills, your strategic planning skills, and understanding how to communicate what success looks like for you in this business and for them in that role. It doesn't have to be that hard. If you know that you're ready for a trusted resource, then I want to invite you to head over to People Side of Biz Institute. We're on the school platform and we are constantly working on our boss best practices. We have tons of training resources. We just dropped another monthly training resource this week. Those are all for you, boss, to get you there faster, easier. You don't have to hit your head against the wall until your brain magically comes up with an answer. Let's get you the answer now so you have the right people on the team. You can grow faster, easier, and heaven forbid, even like the people around you. But it does take you stepping into this role. I believe in you. You can do this. I encourage you to head over to the People Side of Biz Institute. Thank you for being here. Boss on.